Welcome, everyone. How are you doing today? We have a great topic: keeping a positive mindset during your job search. You all, this is such a personal topic for me because I know I try to keep a positive mindset, but I have seen people around me, my clients, my family members, even myself, when you are getting rejections or things are taking longer than expected, or you're hearing all of these kind of not so positive things about the job market, it is hard to stay positive. But staying positive is imperative to a successful job search and to a quick job search. Because whatever you tell yourself and whatever you believe, you will make true. If you think I'm on the struggle bus, this is so hard, it's going to take 10 months for me to find a job, you will make that true. Um, so I'm in a different location and it's a little bit of noise. So I'm going to try to repeat the things that I'm saying. If I'm talking and you all hear a little bit of noise, let me know. All right. But as you all are coming in, give me a hey, hi, let me know who's joining and let me know where you're joining from. You all know I'm usually in Texas this week, and for the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to be in North Carolina. So let me know where all my North Carolina folks are. If you all are joining, give me a hey, hi. I'm so excited for everyone to be joining and watching. Okay, so keeping a positive mindset during your job search. Such a great topic. If you all know, if you've been watching me for a while, or you follow me, or you're connected with me in any way, you know this is close to me because I am a positive person. I try to stay positive. That does not mean everything is going great in my life at the time. Being positive is a purposeful and a conscious decision, and it's something that you have to practice. It is not always natural, especially when things are going on, when you got construction in the next room, when you got health issues, when you got family stuff going on. You have to be purposeful in your positive mindset, okay? And so if you are new to me, hey, welcome. I am Latrice Huff, career and leadership coach to ambitious women of color, and it is my mission and movement to put more money in the hands of women of color. I want to help you increase your income and your revenue by improving your personal brand. So this is for career professionals. This is also for business owners, like if you're just starting your business or if you're continuing on. Keeping a positive mindset is imperative to your quick success. All right. Hey, let me see who we got here. Hey, Monique, how are you? Or let me know, should I call you Dr. Anson? I was a member of your recent cohort. I'm joining from the Baltimore area. Hey, Miss Monique, thank you for joining. I'm going to reach out to you too. I want to see how everything's going. I want to touch base. So I'm definitely going to reach out and touch base with you. Okay, so keeping this positive mindset. And again, when things are going crazy, when you hear about the whatever, like breaking news, and it's like can we got breaking news 17 times a day and it's never good news. Right? It's never good news. So I'm seeing my clients deal with cuts, funding and budget cuts to their industries, layoffs in industries that they thought were stable, things being deregulated, companies laying off and not hiring, companies being put on hiring freezes, right? All these things are happening. And so we're like, people tell me, like, Latrice, how do you stay so positive? One, I am not positive every moment of the day. Let me just start there. Let me start there. Two, I do think I'm probably a naturally positive person, whether like glasses half full type of thing. And then three, I am very purposeful in my positive mindset. And I teach these things to my clients so that they can have fast, quick success. And you just feel better. Your brain's default is going to go to the negative, to everything negative that can happen. It does not mean you're a negative person. It means that your brain is just trying to protect you. This is your primitive brain searching for anything that can endanger you. But we don't have, tigers and bears. We don't have these things chasing us anymore, right? Now the danger is more what our mind can create. If I lose my job, I can lose my house, and I can't feed my kids. Or if I stay in the job market too long and don't get a job offer, then everything's going to fall apart. Or if I have a gap on my resume, no one's ever going to hire me again, right? And we start to create these cycles of just negativity, and it doesn't help. And some people, I've had people tell me it helps before because I don't feel alone when I'm looking at everybody else talking negative, or it helps because then I can plan for things. Why are you going to make so many plans for something negative to happen? You're going to minimize your risk wherever possible. But there's also another scenario where positive things can happen. And when I see my clients shift this mindset into as much time as you spend on negative, I never tell people don't think negative. I'm like, as much time as you go through that, like if you spend 20 minutes thinking about every worst case scenario, then you then have to flip it and say, okay, I'm going to give 20 minutes to the best case scenario, because that is just as likely. When I started doing this, it started changing everything. There are even books about this, about called The Power of Thinking Positive. I think it's another one like Big Magic, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. So there's actually a lot of science behind thinking and speaking positive as well, and how those things can create your new reality. All right. So I don't want you all to just be like, well, you just made this up. It's actually science. They've done studies. People have written books on it, right? So I want to give you all a few tips on how you can do these things and utilize it, not just in your job search, but in your career overall. Once you start to make this a habit and using it in your job search and in your career, these are the same tips you can use in your life. You can use with family. You can use these things in traffic. You can use these tips to make positive decisions in your life or positive outcomes. All right. So these tips that I'm going to give you have way more uses than just a job search, but we're going to start there. Right. And as I'm going through these, let me know which one resonates with you. And I also want to know, what do you all do? Like, Monique, what do you do to keep a positive mindset? Dr. Ranson, I'm so sorry. Let me correct that. Let me correct myself. What do you all do there? Hey, Yolanda, you talk about another positive person. Yolanda is amazing. All right, so this is number one. I gave you all some tips. Those were my informal tips that I just gave. Here's my formal one. Write down what you want to happen. Writing down your goals, again, scientifically proven. I've been reading several books. One of the books I just recently I did not finish this, but because it wasn't my entire cup of tea, but it was a great start, was 10x is easier than 2x. And what they really talked about was like writing down your goals every day. And this, I've read books on like manifesting what you want, writing down your goals. It actually reconnects your brain to your goal and the possibility that it can happen. So even though you're like, I know my goals, it's in here, write it down and look at it. One of the things that I do is I write down my goals. I try to write down my goals every week, but every month, myself and my virtual assistant, we go through the goals. Like, not just what are my goals for me, but what are my goals for my clients? And we have those written down and we review them. Right. I have my own yearly goals written down and then posted on my wall. So I look at them every night before I go to sleep. Write down what you want to happen. Again, your mind is going to automatically default to the negative. That's okay right now. I'm going to help you with that too. But for right now, I just want you to write down, what do you want to happen? You will notice so much power, even if you write it down once. But studies have shown that the more you write it down, the more power it has. So a magic formula is about 17 to 21 times a day for 7 days. And apparently that will like reconnect, like some rewiring in your brain to be more positive, to have your brain hunt for the possibility that this can happen, right? So what do you want? This is a great thing. Just put down in the comments, do you want a six-figure salary? Do you want a remote role? Do you want a remote role with a six-figure salary? Do you want a remote role with a six-figure salary that'll allow you to be there with your family and travel? Write down in the comments what you want. This is going to be the first thing. This is just us, y'all. Like, write down. And if you're watching the replay, I've noticed, and let me say thank you for the people that show up live. My replay people, hashtag replay, I get hundreds of reviews. Like, I'll have like 10 people live, and then a week later, it shows me like 400, even 500 people have watched the replay. So thank you, replay people. If you're watching the replay, I want you to comment as well, right? What do you want? Write it. You can write it down now. You can write one thing, right? When you do this for yourself, write it down in detail. For me, it doesn't matter if it's typed or if it's typed in your notes or something like that. A lot of people say it's better when it's handwritten. I'm a handwritten, if you all can't tell, I like that. But I also put things in the notes app of my phone. I write down things down in different ways. So don't be confined, is what I'm saying. Whichever way is easier for you to get it out, get it out. The main point is that it's written down and that you can see it and come back to it. Okay. It's going to help your mindset, especially as you get. And let me just say this, rejection is a part of the process. I've had clients that have applied for roles and the very next day got an interview, right? And that same client could have applied to 5 roles in a week. And in that week, they apply, the next day they get an interview, the next day they may get 3, let's say they get 3 declines, and then the next day, at the end of the week, they get another interview request. They're only focusing. Sometimes we tend to only focus on the negative and the rejections. Like, oh my God, I got rejected. Rejection is just a part of the process that doesn't negate all of the positive. It doesn't outweigh the positive. So getting 3 rejections doesn't outweigh the 2 interview requests that you got. Okay. So I just wanted to say that. So we're going to start writing down what we want to happen. Number 1. 1A, rejection is a part of the process. That's okay. It does not outweigh the positive. All right. And let me go back to Dr. Ranson. She says, I want a 6-figure role that's either hybrid or remote that will not compromise my quality of life. Yes. And let me just say, I love this picture of you. This is a stunning profile picture, and you have your credentials behind your name. Amazing. All right. So, number 2, we're going to reframe the negative thought. Okay. This is where we're going to get down to, okay, what is really going on? Again, your brain is going to default to the negative just to try to protect you. If you get on LinkedIn, even when you're looking for a job, you can look on LinkedIn and you're going to see some negative things. Layoffs, the job market's terrible. This company just announced a hiring freeze. Funding cut to this. You're going to see somebody's like, I applied to 500 jobs and didn't get any callbacks, right? So you're going to be like, your brain's going to be like, oh my God, everything's terrible. And that's going to be the general response. And then as an individual, you will have something that your brain is telling you about you. It can be, you're not good enough. It can be you're not qualified. It can be you're not ready, right? I want you to focus on not the general of the job market's bad in this, but what is your brain telling you about you? Hint, hint, 99% of the time, it is not even true. It's your brain seeing something and interpreting of how this is going to impact me. And it's usually a narrative you've been telling yourself over and over again for years and years and years. All right. That's what we want to get to. What is that repetitive thought that is no longer serving you, that holds you back? And it can be triggered by something you see on the internet. Okay. But it is not. When people tell me the job market's bad, I'll be like, how so? Which market? Which market are you in? And then I drill down, what are you making it mean about you? And they'll be like, it makes it mean I can never leave my job. I can never transition. I have to stay in this industry, or I have to stay from the beginning, right? And that's simply not true. But I want you to get to the core thought of what is going on with you, and then we need to reframe that. Okay. We're not reframing the job market as bad. We're not reframing companies are doing layoff. We're going to reframe what you make this think about you. So I want you all, if you're so brave and you want to share, we can do an example together. But I'll share this. I had a client and she was like, I'm just not finding what I want. I'm just not finding what I want. She was getting all these interviews, but she was like, they're not hiring me. And I was like, why do you think they're not hiring you? And in her mind, it was because she felt as though she had job hopped. She was like, I had a lot of jobs, and so I've been job hopping, so they're not going to hire me, right? And I was like, okay, so your thing is your job hopping makes you kind of not an ideal candidate. She was like, they don't want to hire me. So for her, we had to reframe that into she has in demand skills. Okay. I said, anytime your brain is telling you that, you can go back to all these requests for interviews and tell yourself you have in demand skills. This was the reframe. I think it was like, no, I think it was like, my skills are in high demand. That's what it was. My skills are in high demand. So I said, anytime your brain starts to give you this, people aren't going to hire you. I want you to go back to your skill set. It was something she already believed. She had the proof of it because she was getting interviews, but no offers. So by repeatedly saying this, repeatedly doing this, right? She was saying this almost like a mantra. I want to say within 7 to 10 days, she had an offer for $180,000 hybrid role. I'm going to share more about that story too. I'll probably do a whole live on it. This is in 2025. This is the power of reframing, okay? This is why I like to share real world current examples with you all. Real world, the power of reframing. Please don't skip this step. You need to reframe the thought that you are telling yourself, and you need to replace it with something that's going to work for you because it's not serving you. Negativity doesn't serve you. No matter what you think. All right. Let me go. We've been rocking in the comments. All right. Monique says, I keep a positive mindset by trusting that what's for me will be for me. Yes. That is, if you're writing down like what you want, and then you're like, what's for me will be for me. I love that. I am someone who truly believes I attract what's for me by being myself. I know your spirit and your energy too, Monique. You're the same way. Like you have a very contagious spirit and energy about you. So yes, thinking that what is, and just trusting that like what's for me will happen for me. And a rejection, a notice, funding, things out of my control are not even for me anyway. So great. Thank you for sharing that. Laura, I can see that you're open to new. Can we connect? Good. Yes, let's catch up. Yolanda says, looking for a job that aligns with my personal brand. Yes, that is remote, pays six figures, that maintains my peace of mind. Yeah. When I tell y'all peace of mind is where it's at, thank you. Thank you for putting that out there. I would recommend everyone look at what you wrote down or what you want, and it should have something about your peace of mind or your overall mental wellness. Gone are the days that we are staying in these jobs or these careers or even our job search process that is stressing us out, that is, I've seen women come to me as like their hair is falling out from them looking for a job. It's impacting their health. We're not doing that anymore. There's a different way and a better way. And I'm going to talk about that as well. So actually, that's going to bring me, I'm going to skip down. That's going to bring me to tips number 3 and 4. Number 3, I want you to start speaking positive. Again, there are books, there is research on the power of speaking. It is biblical on speaking about what you want, speaking that positivity. If you're like, it's going to take me 10 months, it will take you 10 months. You are creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're putting that out there. Right. I had someone recently, she was like, oh, I heard that for each 10,000 that you want, that's how many months it'll take you to find a job. So if you wanted $100,000 role, it would take you 10 months. And I was like, I've had people get 6-figure roles in 3 months. That's not true. But if that's what you believe, you will make that true. You've now set this new expectation, and that is what will happen. But if you say my skills are in high demand, companies are looking to hire me now, When I do my affirmations or when I speak things out, it's two things I always say, and I recommend this to my clients. Putting a time frame of now. I am ready now. This is happening now. And then saying or better. Because there are so many things out there that the powers to be want you to have that you probably haven't even dreamt of yet. So I always leave that space and that capacity for I want this or better. I will have this or better, and it is coming to me now. It is on its way to me now. I want a six-figure remote job that maintains my peace of mind, and I am open and receptive to having this now. I am open and receptive to this or better and having it now. Okay, like just imagine that you all can hear the power in my voice when you say this out loud. I want you to say it. Look in the mirror, look in the camera, say this out loud, affirm it. Right. But when you hear people speaking about things in a negative way, don't let that penetrate. Don't join that conversation when they're like, girl, you know they laying off everybody. And instead of like, all right, layoffs are happening and you know what? Companies are still hiring. Two things can exist at the same time. It's very rarely that things are only one way. So you can choose to look at companies are only laying off, this industry isn't being funded anymore, or you could be like, I have a unique skill set that's easily transferable. Do you see the difference? We're not going to ignore what's happening, but we're also not going to act like that's the only reality because it's not. All right. So speaking things and speaking things into speaking those positive things. Again, I love if you all ever read anything from Louise Hay. I love her Louise Hayes. I love her books. I also highly recommend the Power of Positive Thinking is another book, and the Power of the Subconscious Mind. Really talk about speaking things in existence and how being positive, having a positive mindset, and speaking positive can have a positive impact on your life, your career, your financial situation, your personal relationships. It transitions and it transfers over to different elements of your life. All right. And you all know, if you all have ever worked with me or seen me speak, I swear by this. This is something I'm doing all the time. And I teach my clients to do it all the time. Again, we're not ignoring reality. We're not ignoring what's happening, but we're also not acting like that is the only reality and the only outcome and the only possibility, because it's not. Okay. Oh, and this is, let me pronounce your name. Oh, is it, I want to say Abu Bakar. Abu Bakar? Let me know how to spell it. Let me know how to pronounce your name. She's Yolanda. It's always good to have others share the journey with Job Hunting. Can feel lonely sometimes. Yes. I'm just trying to stay consistent and surround myself with positive, focused people. Yes. Have you gotten any interviews recently? This is so good. Um, thank you for saying that, because that you actually fast forwarded to my tip number 5, which is about community and support and being around positive people. All right. But first, I want to go to number 4, to my fourth tip. This is about your career intuition. I want you to listen to your intuition. This is something we don't really connect to positive mindset. We don't really connect intuition to careers. This is something I teach my clients. When you're seeing all these strategies and you're overwhelmed and you're like, I cannot do all 15 of these, it's like, what is your intuition telling you to do? Listen to your intuition telling you to apply to that job. And there's a difference between intuition and fear. Fear makes you feel bad. Intuition is that gut, that internal burn. It doesn't make you feel bad. It doesn't shame you. So that's how you can tell the difference between what is fear speaking and what is your intuition. Because your intuition may tell you, don't go on that interview. That's not for you. All right. Your intuition could tell you this job, you don't even you only meet 50% of the qualifications, and your intuition be like, girl, you could do this. Go ahead and apply. You apply, get the interview, get the offer, get the job. Now you running the thing. So listen to your intuition. You will feel so much better. When you're listening to your intuition, it also helps you in making decisions. When I tell you, Worse than a negative feeling is being stuck and in being in indecision. When I see people in indecision, they're like, I don't know what to do. And they're just stuck. They do nothing. They're frozen. They're paused. You're not moving in your job search. You're not moving in your career. I want you to think about using your career intuition when you're looking for these jobs. Okay, this is how you're going to keep a positive mindset. Because again, going back to that, what Dr. Ranson said about knowing and believing what's for me is for me, right? Trusting that I don't need to do every single thing. I don't need to burn myself out in my job search. I don't need to go to every single networking event knowing I hate networking, right? I don't have to cold call 100 different companies knowing I hate cold calling. You don't need to do that. And it will make you feel bad. And before you do it, before you do something that doesn't align with you, your brain will take you through every negative scenario possibly known to man. This is why you may stall out doing something. If you know you're supposed to be doing something, like it's like, oh, I'm supposed to reach out to 5 people on LinkedIn, and it's been 2 weeks and you're reached out to those 5 people, do not shame yourself. Don't make yourself feel bad. Just if this could really be your intuition telling you there's a better way for you. This is not the way for you to get the job. So listen to your career intuition. This is a new concept that I just started working with my clients on. We've been doing this for years, but I never gave it a name. So now I'm calling it your career intuition. I want you to listen to it. I've seen the difference. I had a client, she's working with another coach, a more expensive coach, a coach that didn't look like her, didn't look like me, very opposite. And the advice that he was giving did not align with her values. It didn't align with her personality. It didn't align with her intuition. And so she had spent months trying to execute on these strategies, shaming herself, feeling bad, thinking it was fear. And then when she did it, it wasn't working for her. And I finally just told her, I was like, this isn't working for you. Let's take a step back. What do you want to do? What feels natural and easy for you? And what has worked with you for you in the past? And what she came up with was, instead of cold calling and blindly reaching out to people, was finding companies that were hiring slash looking at the contacts that she had who were hiring at these companies. So instead of cold calling and doing these random things, she was very targeted and only reached out to people she knew, told them about her brand and where she was going in her career. And she did that and had an 80 to 90% response rate. And I want to say, at one point, she had like 5 opportunities in the irons. She wound up getting a $300,000 remote role, a $300 remote role by using her career intuition. And she was spending so much time and energy and negativity spinning out, trying to do a strategy that was not meant for her and was never going to work for her. Let me know if this makes sense when we're talking about this concept of career intuition, of doing things in your job search and in your career that aligns with your values and your unique gifts and feels good to you. All right? Let me know. Ellen says hello. Ellen says hello to Yolanda. Oh, I like this. We're making connection requests in here. Yes. All right, Yolanda says, I had a couple of interviews last month, but nothing recently. Stay positive and trust your judgment. Yes. Wow, that's a great. Also, can we share experience together? Oh, yes. I'm loving that you all are connecting, networking in the comments. This is what I want you all to do. I'm loving this. All right, she says, I know I only have 10 days left in a month, but I have been manifesting a job offer by 7/31. Yolanda, it can happen. I'll share this really quickly. If you all know me, you know I am big on manifestation and creating your own opportunities and bringing things to life of what you want. And so one of the things that I did, I had a really big goal. I tested this out last year. I was like, I had this really big goal. I wanted to make 40,000 in a month. I'd never done that before. I was like, I want to make 40,000 a month without a launch. I was like, I'm not going to launch. And I had this big goal, and the strategy I wanted to use was manifestation. I've always used manifestation and mindset in combination with a lot of action and a lot of strategy. And I was like, hey, what if instead of a lot of strategy, I'm only going to do 3 strategies that align with me, again, utilizing my intuition, which meant going against a lot of what I was taught, okay? Because I have coaches myself, and then doing manifesting techniques that aligned with me, and then working on my mindset and doing that every single day for 30 days. Well, it was, I want to, this was maybe April of May of 2024, and it was at the end of the month. And I want to say, I did a webinar. All these people signed up for the webinar. Some people came and nobody signed up for my program. So I had like no sales. And I was like, oh my goodness. But I kept believing, I kept trusting. I do a lot of visualization. I visualized. I thought about the people I would help and the end result for them and what that would look like, right? And I will tell you, I had about 7 days left in a month before I made my first sale. The last 2 days of the month is when I made the money to hit my goal. So I'm sharing this with Yolanda, but I'm sharing this with all of you all. I had never, so even though I gave myself a month for this big goal to make 40,000, I want to say I made the bulk of it. I made like 30,000 in the last 2 days of the month. In the last 2 days. So yes, Yolanda, I know when you say we only have 10 days left in the month, that job offer can still come. I've had clients get job offers from companies that they interviewed with 6 months ago, 3 months ago. It is something about what you apply to in January and February that love to come back in June and July, right? That love to come back in June and July. So yes, this is still possible, and you can still have, you can still get that job offer by the end of the month. So just, I wanted to share that with you. Because that's great. Oh, it's just coming up LinkedIn user, but let me know. Bob Proctor is a good to listen to for affirmations. Check out him on YouTube. Yeah, so Bob Proctor has this abundance meditation that I listen to a lot. It's free on YouTube. You have to find the right one. Like one has ads and one doesn't. But that was one of the techniques that I had used during like this really month. Well, I was like, I'm going to experiment and just use manifestation techniques and only a little bit of like action and strategy, because you always need some sort of action. But the Bob Proctor, I want to say it was like an abundance. It was an abundance audio that I listened to free on YouTube, and I did that just about like every day. So I would highly recommend that. Just see if you can get the one without any ads. So thank you for sharing. But let me know who this is, because it just says LinkedIn user on my thing. Oh, can you say tip number 2? Oh, reframing the negative thoughts. Reframing the negative thoughts. Right? So knowing what that thought is unique to you, right? So not the big thought of, not that first general thought of like, oh, the job market's bad. It's a tough market. It's a tough time. Funding is being cut. But what are you making this mean about you? Are you making this mean I'm not ready? Are you making this mean I'll never get a job? Are you making this mean I'm not successful? Like, go to what are you making this mean about you? And then we're going to reframe that into something that works for you. All right. So that was tip number 2. Oh, can we also connect and have a conversation with you regarding my job? So he's looking forward to connecting. Let me, Sarah, let me know. You're talking about me or somebody else? Yes, I'll do, sometimes I do 15-minute virtual coffee calls. People can always book a sales call with me. You can book a quick chat to talk. Yes. I also have a free workshop coming up on how to land a 6-figure in a leadership role as a woman of color in 2025. If you're interested in that, put pivot in the comments and you'll get access to my free workshops. I'm going to be doing this workshop on the 31st. So I want to say that's Thursday, July 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're unable to make it, still put pivot and we'll give you the link. You can sign up and you can get the replay. Okay. I'm going to be sending out like fun emails, more tips, but the benefit to showing up live to the workshops is that it's via Zoom and people can talk privately. Sometimes people don't want to share everything on LinkedIn. So you can DM me pivot and I'll give you a personal invite, or you can put pivot in the comments and we'll send you that link as well. So everybody just put pivot in the comments and you'll get those and we'll get you that link to you. All right. it's Angela. Angela mentioned. Hey, Angela. Oh, you mentioned Bob. Yes, he is one of my favorites. So I have a lot of meditations and audios that I listen to from him. And y'all, these things are free right on YouTube. When you talk about positive mindset, it is so many options out there. Again, I like to use my intuition and what vibes best for me. I do like an audio. Look, I got my earphones right here. I am if you can't tell, I'm an auditory, auditory person. So that is what works for me, and that's what I like. Some people like videos, some people like doing things themselves, but I highly, highly recommend these resources. You can go right to Libby and get some of these books free online. And be sure to donate to your public libraries too. But a lot of these things are free, you guys, free or low cost. Keeping a positive mindset is something that takes effort and energy, but it is so worth it. And it will have a positive outcome, not just in your career, in your job search, but your entire life. All right. So, which is going to bring me to my fifth tip. You need some support and community. There's going to be so many people, so many areas and groups of people being negative. You need to surround yourself with community and with support, whether that is a coach, a mentor, a free community, a paid community. I recommend some sort of community separate from friends or family. Friends and family can mean well, but they will tend to regurgitate the same negativity that they're seeing or hearing, even though they mean well. So just keep that in mind. They mean well, may not always be the best for you, right? Find your own positive and supportive community. The same way you all are networking in the comments, I love that. Network in the comments, find like minded individuals, people who want to stay positive, people who are not ignoring reality, but they also understand that that's not the only option or the only reality available to them. That's who you want to surround yourself by. It will change everything. It will change your outlook. Positive people will start giving you examples of things. This is why I always share examples of how my clients are using these techniques and tips. So you have examples. This is why I share testimonials. There's going to be so much negative stuff out there, and you think it's not impacting your mindset, but it is. You think it's not impacting your job search, but it is. It's slowing you down. It's keeping you thinking in a negative loop instead of thinking positive and getting the results that you want quickly. Okay. And I'm going to share this bonus thing and I'm going to hop off. But if you all have any questions or comments, start putting them in the chat now. But this is my bonus one. And then my clients know this is something that I swear by. I want you to write an offer letter to yourself. Write the offer letter to yourself. Write down what you want. You can hand type it, you can type it up, you can ask ChatGPT to do it, right? But have an offer letter, write it to yourself and email it to yourself and print that bad boy out. But think about, what do you want your boss to be like? If you're like, Latrice, I want a happy boss who's excited to see me, right? Then you would be like, hey, we're so excited you're going to be starting with us. We're excited to extend this offer. Yolanda, if you have a specific date, I would be dating this offer. I would write an offer letter to myself and I would write the date that you want this to manifest. Write that date on there. Right? If you want a remote role, then where it says location for the offer letter, put remote. Where it says title, salary, enter those things that you want. This is a powerful mindset and manifesting technique. This I highly recommend. It has been useful for myself, for my clients, for my friends, for my family members, and it just makes you feel good. So if you take nothing else from this, action step, this is something you can try today, this is something you can try tomorrow, is to write that offer letter to yourself. Write it to yourself. All right. Thank you all so much. Feel free to message me if you have any questions. Feel free to continue to put things in the chat, in the comment. I love my replay people because I always have hundreds of people watching the replay. Thank you all who showed up live and sharing your lunch break with me. I truly appreciate it. And I'll be hearing from you all soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.